Hi all, welcome to the final whistle. It's another match preview then. It's Liverpool versus Leicester. Leicester travel to Merseyside on the Friday night football. It should be a New Year's Eve cracker, shouldn't it? This one. Salah v Vardy. It's going to be a very tasty affair. I've got Callum Sanderson from Cop-ish. He'll be joining me very shortly. Guys, if you can, smash a like on the stream for me as always. Subscribe to the Final Whistle if you haven't already. And you're new to the channel, please hit me up. Follow us on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you can find us at the Final Whistle. Please go and drop us a follow. So, one thing to do then. And let's get on with the show. And I'll see you in just a minute. Welcome to the match preview. Before I really start this, there's some very sad news, and it's Brazil striker Pelé has died. So I want to send my sincere condolences to Pelé's family at this very sad time. A phenomenal striker in his career, and one of the best players to ever play football. And so it's been a very sad news here on the Final Whistle that I've had to bring you, that Pelé has died. So rest in peace to one of the greatest of all time. Let's get a few good evenings in. Sup, KFC delivery, what you saying? Hi Jack, how are you? I'm good. Can't wait for tomorrow. Yes. Merseyside is a hard place. It is. Let's get my guest in, Mr. Callum. Callum, how are you?
Not too bad, bro. Thank you very, very much for having me. How are you, bro?
Yes, I'm good, bro. Thank you.
So before
Callum,
I start, obviously RIP to Pelé as well, man. So sad. But yeah.
Where can everyone find you, Callum, on the socials, and what do you do?
So you can find me at Callum Sanderson on Twitter, Instagram. Obviously Team Coppish as well, who I represent for Liverpool content. I also have another YouTube channel which does mainly like MMA content and some interviews here and there as well, called The Sanderson Show. So yeah, any one of those, I'd be grateful for some support. Thank you, man.
Yeah, go and check Callum out on all the socials and that. Here's the description for the Team Coppish will be in the YouTube description. So go and give them a subscribe. Callum, it's a big game then. Liverpool versus Leicester. Let's firstly talk about the thoughts on your season so far then. Talk to me about that, Callum. What's your thoughts on Liverpool's season?
Frustrating. Very stop-start. We've been losing games we shouldn't have lost. We've won games arguably we shouldn't have won. So, like, we're the only team so far to beat Newcastle in the league, which is crazy. But we also lose back-to-back games to Forest and Leeds, but then we beat Man City. So it's been a very topsy-turvy season. I think us not getting a midfielder in the summer was detrimental to how we started the season. I also think we could have done with another forward. I know we just signed Cody Gakpo. It would have been nice to have seen someone come into the summer. However, I can't complain too much. We just signed him in January. I just think we didn't start the season right. And instead of us being in a title push or a title challenge, we're now in a top 4 race, which is a little frustrating going from what we've been to doing this now. So, yeah, we just got to see how the rest of the games go. And top 4 is a minimum. If we fall out of the top 4, I would worry a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a up and down season for Liverpool, hasn't it, Callum? Losing to Leeds at home. It's been kind of a struggle. Obviously, you picked up results in the last 2 games. You beat Southampton 3-1. You then went and beat Aston Villa 3-1 at Villa Park. Talk to me about the Villa game. Obviously, you guys lost 7-2 there once upon a time. Liverpool have still got a good record at Aston Villa. Talk to me about the game.
Firstly, thanks for that reminder, bro. One of the darkest days in my footballing life, that was. I'll be honest, I think the scoreline maybe flattered us a little. Do you know what? I won't say that, actually. If we took our chances, we would have been completely out of sight. But at the same time, Villa did have their chances as well. So I do think 3-1 maybe flattered us a little bit, but I do think we were good for the win. It was just a little frustrating that we weren't able to capitalize on more of the chances and make it more of a comfortable win. Also, a few players defensively making mistakes, which is frustrating at this stage of the season. You're hoping that teams and players start to iron out those little crinkles, but it didn't happen. But at this stage, what we're competing for and how far we were off top four a few games back, it was a much needed 3 points. So I can't complain.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the league. There it is. Liverpool sitting 6th place with 25 points. Yeah, it's tight, isn't it, Callum? You know, you've got Brighton there, 24, Chelsea 24, Fulham there as well. You know, Brighton's and Fulham's, you don't expect them to be there. You expect them to be bottom half sides, but they're not. They're on the hard working merit. Man United are up there again. Spurs. What's your thoughts on Newcastle, Callum, this season? I mean, they've been phenomenal, haven't they, in the way they've produced the goods?
Scary. And the reason why I use the word scary is because when they got bought out and taken over, everyone kind of said, yeah, we know they're going to become a force to be reckoned with. They're the richest club in the world now. But everyone kind of thought, Eddie Howe's there. He's not, quote-unquote, top-class manager. It's going to take them time. They can't attract the players yet. They've not too long got out of a relegation battle. The fact that they're this high up already, they're not spending stupid money. They're very smart and very shrewd with how they've been spending. They've already got the fan base. They've already got a fantastic stadium. If they are by any way able to secure European football, whether it be Europa or Champions League, I think the rest of the league could be in for a rude awakening a lot quicker than we expected, because they have the money behind them. They have the fan base. They have all the structure there. They just needed a good place to finish in the league. And with the money they've got, the players they'll be able to attract go from being players who are on the come up to players who are saying, right, we can go there and win something in the next 2 years. So it could be a scary proposition. But at the same time, I can't hate on Newcastle, because if any club deserves to have any sort of money or backing after what they went through Mike Ashley, it's them. So I'm saying this now, while they're not a threat, quote unquote. Give me a couple of years when they start challenging Liverpool, City, and the rest of the teams, and I might not be saying too many nice things about them.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, man. Mr. Darwin Nunez. They call him the shit Andy Carroll. Let's be honest. Andy Carroll used to play for Liverpool. Signed him for 64 million from Benfica. What is your thoughts on Darwin Nunez? Obviously, you sold Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich. Luis Diaz came in as well. Darwin Nunez is very hit and miss, isn't he? He's hot and cold, but he's not scoring the goals that Klopp you'd say brought him in to do. Yeah,
so being completely honest with you, when we first signed Nunez, I wasn't over the moon with it. I thought we could have got other players who would have been better equipped to help us. That being said, he's a Liverpool player, so I'm going to support him. I think he's good. The problem with being good at Liverpool is it's hard to just be good, because we've had so many world-class players in recent years. That being said, I think a few things have gone against him this season. I think the Haaland comparisons, and look, I'll be honest, some Liverpool fans were doing it at the beginning. I had to tell a lot of Liverpool fans, like, there is no comparison. Haaland is in a different league. But the Haaland comparison didn't help. Him getting sent off early into his Liverpool career didn't help.
Against Crystal Palace, was it? Yeah. The headbutt.
The headbutt. And then us not having good form as a team didn't help. But what I will say is I do think he's been harshly criticised in some aspects, because you look at other players, and I don't want to name to do that, but you look at other players at other clubs who maybe cost more or around the same fee, but they've been given a way more time to prove themselves. whereas the media and rival fans, which I expect, but even some Liverpool fans are really harsh on Nunez. But what I will say on the flip side of that is you have a lot of Liverpool fans who, in my opinion, baby him and almost go out of their way to make it seem like he's doing amazing when I don't think he's doing amazing yet. So the Villa game split a lot of people down the middle. Like for a rating, I thought he had a good game, so I'd give him like a 7 out of 10. But I've seen people giving him like man of the match and 10s out of 10s. And for me, if you're a striker, in fact, you know what? Scrap that. If you're anywhere on the pitch and you get 3 or 4 one-on-ones and you let's be real, you choke on all of them. For me, you can't score like a 10 out of 10 or a 9 or an 8 out of 10 because effectively we're here to score goals. And if you're the man who's meant to be the main goal getter and you're not doing that, I can only go so far. And I think that's where we are with him. Yeah,
I agree. He's cost a lot of money, hasn't he, for Liverpool? It's one of their world record signings, is it? It's like Salah. Let's talk about Salah. You know, he didn't really do well at Chelsea. He went to the Serie A, went fantastically with Fiorentina, was it? And then come back to the Premier League with Liverpool, and what a transition. The player that was never given a chance at Chelsea, only a handful of times, to the player Salah is now, is incredible, isn't he? To watch Salah, the pace, the finishing, and he's done everything I've asked of him, hasn't he, at Liverpool, and the records that he's broken as well. He's one of the best strikers in Europe, isn't he, Mo Salah? I know he's a winger, but we can put him down as a forward, can't we?
Yeah, 100%. I love the guy. Like Salah is brilliant. Again, I think he's one of those players that suffers from his first season at Liverpool. The fact that he was so good and scored so many goals. But as you said, the records he's broken, the trophies he's helped us to win, the fact that he keeps on going every season, the fact that he's committed to the team, committed to the cause. Does he have his selfish, annoying moments? Yeah, he does. But which top player hasn't? So, like, I wouldn't trade on that right-hand side of a front three. I wouldn't trade Salah for anyone in world football. The only one we're having a conversation about is Messi, and Messi doesn't even really play there as such anymore. But Salah is phenomenal, and without Salah this season, I shudder to think where we'd have been.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about your new signing, Mr. Cody Gakpo from PSV. What's your thoughts on the signing then? Obviously, you beat Manchester United to this transfer. Liverpool hate Man United, don't they? You know, let's be honest. Man U was supposed to have signed him during the World Cup and this, that, and the other, but Liverpool have surprised it, haven't it? They've come in and agreed a deal under Manchester United's noses. And what's your thoughts on Gakpo? I think he's an incredible player. He's done wonders at PSV.
Yeah, so if you'd asked me who's on my sort of top 5 list for like left wingers or wingers, he wouldn't have featured on there. That being said, he's a very good player. He was never one that really got me out of my seat, or I was like, yeah, I really want him at the club, But that being said, he's a player we need. We need another attacker. Dare I say, even with Gakpo coming, I think we need to add another one in the summer, but it was imperative we added one this window, and we've done that. And for the fee, for the age, for the profile of the player, I think it represents really good business. I just hope he's got to hit the ground running, because we have no Jota, we have no Diaz at the moment. So he's not going to get that ease-in period like maybe Diaz got a little bit last season. But again, I think he's ready for that. And I think the fact he's just come off the World Cup, he's obviously played with your likes of Virgil and other Premier League players. I think he did really well for the Netherlands at the World Cup. I think he's a player that can come in and make an impact now. And you look at that Villa game, for example, Salah on the right, Nunez through the middle, but it's Oxlade-Chamberlain playing on the left, and he's not a left winger for us. So straight away, him coming in and playing left wing for us takes us up a level. So over the moon to the signing, and hope the kid does well.
Yeah, a lot of fans, Premier League fans, be like, oh yeah, but they heard it, the V's is different to the Premier League. The 100%. Premier League's a more difficult league, isn't it? You've got to hit the ground running in the Premier League when you come. Like Haaland, you know, there was massive expectations on Haaland going to Man City for the obviously a cut price of what he went for. You know, that guy could go for £200 million. He's one of the best strikers in the world in football, and he's hit the ground running. 20 goals in 14 Premier League games is the fastest anyone's ever got 20 goals. So that's a record in itself. Let's talk about the game itself then, Callum, obviously, Liverpool take on Leicester City on Friday night. A massive game. Let's have a look at the head-to-head stats. 53 wins to you lot. We've beat you 41 times, 25 draws. It makes for a good encounter, doesn't it, at Anfield?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm struggling to sit here and think of the last time we had a game that it was a rubbish game. Like, even like the game where I think you beat us 1-0 at your place last season when we missed a penalty and Mane missed like an open goal. And I think, who was it that came? Was it Lukeman that came on and scored the goal?
Ademo Lukeman, yeah.
Yeah, and like even that game, it wasn't a high-scoring game. It was still an edge of your seat game, though. It was exciting and it was very tense. Again, I do like Leicester. I can't sit here and have a bad word to say about Leicester. I really can't. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on your platform. I'm genuinely serious. Like anyone who watches me, I don't have a bad word to say about Leicester. Like you've got players who I think are like really good. I think Pereira before the injuries was, in my opinion, top 2, top 3 right backs in the league. James Justin, I think, would have gone to the World Cup and played had he not picked up the injury. Big fan of James Maddison. Love Jamie Vardy. I'm a big fan of Harvey Barnes. So it's like, I can't sit here and say anything bad about Leicester. What I will say, though, at the moment, it's not going well for you guys. Tielemans another one as well I'd have taken at Liverpool.
Yeah.
What it is with Leicester at the moment, though, not in a rude way, I think you're there for the taking. And these words might come back to bite me, but I think you're there for the taking. So I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but not for you guys. I think it's going to be a potential entertaining game for Liverpool because the injury, if I'm not mistaken, you've got like 6 or 7 first team players out. Now, granted, we have around the same amount out, but we have a bigger and better squad than you guys. So we can absorb that a bit better. Whereas you guys rely on sort of your first core 14 players. And if 7 of those are missing or 5 of those are missing, you're at a severe disadvantage already. Plus it being at Anfield as well, we're picking up a little bit of momentum. You guys like did not look good against Newcastle. So even though I think the first 15, 20 minutes might be a good encounter, but I do see Liverpool pulling away.
Let's have a look at the last 5 meetings at Anfield between the two sides. It's not a good reading as a Leicester fan, let's be honest. 21-22 season, we lost 2-0. We've lost 3-0 in the 2021 season. 2-1 to you guys, 1-1 draw in 2018-19. I believe Harry Maguire scored for Leicester that day. In the 17-18 season, 2-1 to you lot again. Read of it what you will. The stats are there.
I'll be honest, that 1-1 in 2019 really hurt.
It's one of them. Callum, if you could pick a meeting out of Leicester and Liverpool, your favourite game, which game would it be?
Oh, as in a home game or an away game or any
game.
Oh, that's a bloody good question, man. I've got 2. So I've got 16-17 at Anfield, where we beat you guys 4-1. That was the first game after we extended the stadium, so we just rebuilt the main stand. We won that game 4-1. I think Mane got 1, Lallana got 1, Firmino got 2, and Vardy got 1 for you guys. He capitalized on a Lucas mistake. Yep. So that game, also 19-20 when we beat you 2-1, last minute James Milner penalty. I think Mane got the first. I think, was it Maddison equalized for you guys, I think? But that game, for me, that was when I've got to go the 4-0 as well. The 4-0 was the one. But I'll be honest, you see that period was sort of between 2017 up to 2020.
Yeah.
I think that's when we were both at kind of at our peak, and the games were brilliant. Like, I remember you guys pasting us, was it 3-1 at your place or something like that? Vardy scored like a worldie. I think it might have been a season you won the league where he just volleyed it from far out and lobbed Mignolet. And then there was another one.
I think that 2-1, was it, that one?
No, 3-1, I think you guys beat us. I remember Coutinho scoring. But a 4-0 is my favourite because that was the game where I was like, yeah, we've won the league.
Was that when Trent scored that banger?
No. Trent got an assist. No, Trent got 3 assists in that game. No, he did score. You're right. He did score. Yeah. He ran down the right and scored. Yeah.
It's a
But
mad one.
yeah.
I think there's been quite a lot of good games between Liverpool and Leicester. Obviously, the one when Salah scored, and then obviously Vardy did that guitar celebration, didn't he? Yeah, it's kind of like one of them. And then the one where he obviously scored that volley. I'm just trying to get the result from the 2016 season.
That was 3-1 to you guys. I think Vardy got 2 and maybe Mahrez got the other.
I know. I think Vardy got 2. Yeah. I don't know if
I know
Mahrez
Coutinho scored for us.
Let me have a look. 2-0 Leicester.
Was it 2-0?
Yeah, 2-0 Vardy double. That was one of my favourite games against you, lot.
That must have been a different
games. Oh, we beat you. We did beat you 3-1 though. Yeah, we did beat you 3-1. Not long after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was 2018, 2019 season when we was on good form in the Champions League places.
No, it wouldn't have been 18-19 because we only lost one game that season against City. It would have been maybe would have been the season before. No, but the 17-18 we beat you 3-2 at your place. Salah got 1, Hendo got 1, and Coutinho got a free kick, and then you scored through Vardy. You missed a penalty as well. Vardy got 1 for you guys, or maybe 2, but you missed a penalty in that game. So it wouldn't have been 17-18. It might have been the season before.
Yeah, I know we beat you 2021. Barnes, Maddison, and Vardy scored. That was when COVID came out, wasn't it?
That was behind closed doors, wasn't it? That was the pandemic season. We were a mess in that game.
I thought them like 15 minutes. When Salah scored, I thought we were done for when Salah scored. I thought you've won this. And then that were it. 3 goals happened in a matter of minutes. Then Alisson took out.
Yeah,
I think it was like Turkish international.
Kabak, yeah.
That was madness. Absolute crazy. But there's been some great games. Obviously, the Lotman one for us. The Vardy volley, which still gets talked about, is one of the greatest Premier League goals to this day. But for you, like, it's always been at Anfield anyway. You've battered us, and I think you beat us 3-0, didn't you? Bobby Firmino scoring one season.
Yeah, that was the season behind the closed doors as well.
Yep. Let's have a look at foot in both camps, Callum. Let's see if you can get any of these. Danny Ward, Paul Konchesky, Emil Heskey.
Who do I like the best out of them?
Talk to me what you know about them players and their time at Liverpool.
Okay, so Danny Ward is very weird. So before we signed Alisson, obviously Karius had come off the back of the Champions League final and Mignolet just wasn't doing it. I really wanted us to keep Danny Ward. He was homegrown and I still wanted us to get a new goalkeeper, but I wanted him to be backup and I actually wanted him to get a chance. I do think his career stagnated though, being a second choice goalkeeper. He doesn't seem like he's not Casper, is he? And
no.
I do think you guys will need to go out and get a better goalkeeper and keep him as backup. So I think his career stagnated, but no bad words to say about Danny Ward. Konchesky wasn't Liverpool quality, unfortunately. He should never have been at Liverpool. That we signed him at a time when Hodgson was in charge and there was no structure. The owners were about to leave. It was just really bad from top to bottom. And Heskey, I love Heskey. I actually got the chance to meet Heskey a couple of years back. And he's such a solid guy. He's really cool, like makes time for people. And yeah, just never had a bad word to say about Leicester, never had a bad word to say about Liverpool. And if I'm not mistaken, he's loved by both fans. So
yeah, he's from Leicester as well. And you signed him from Leicester.
Yeah.
So he was a good striker for you, like
he's brilliant for us.
Scored good goals in the Premier League.
Massively underrated for us.
I agree.
And for England as well. Sorry to cut you. For England as well. Without him, Mike Owen doesn't get the amount of goals he gets.
Let's have a look at injury news then. Before we move on to team selection. Talk to me about Liverpool's injury news then. Who's going to be missing against Leicester?
So Curtis Jones isn't going to be available. Luis Diaz is still out. Diogo Jota. Firmino, I don't think is going to be fit either. Apart from that, Calvin Ramsey, our backup right back as well. Apart from that, I think we've got a full squad apart from those players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
Leicester will
terrible.
Leicester will be missing James Maddison.
Massive miss.
He's got an injury, so I don't know. It's like a new injury apparently, according to Brendan. We'll be missing Ricardo. He went back till January. James Justin's injured. Johnny Evans is injured. So they'll obviously miss the game as well. Talk to me about Brendan Rodgers, Callum, from a Liverpool fan perspective. Let's talk about Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool manager. You could say he could have won the league if Gerrard didn't slip on his arse, but I don't think you could have blamed Gerrard for that moment, was it? That Liverpool lost the league due to that Gerrard situation. It was that Palace game, wasn't it? To go in so far up in the game and drawing, Talk to me about Brendan's time at Liverpool.
Brendan's a tough one. Without that season, he had a pretty poor Liverpool career. I think that season marks a lot of what he did. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he finished 7th, 2nd, 6th, and then got sacked when we were like mid-table. Brendan is a hell of a coach. He really is a hell of a coach. Like, if you want someone to come in and get your team playing football, he's brilliant. But I see him as a transition manager. I don't see him as a manager that goes in and takes a club to the next level and keeps them there. And maybe you guys have seen that a little bit at Leicester. He came in and changed the philosophy, got you guys playing great football, won the FA Cup with you guys, which can never be taken away from him. I just think his player acquisition at Liverpool was pretty poor. I think his in-game management, and I think he comes across as a bit of a salesman sometimes, and he talks a good game and then not necessarily doesn't deliver. And what I don't like, if I'm not mistaken, he did this recently with Sayonchu. He's got a tendency to throw players under the bus as well, and it's just
stubbornness.
Yes, that as well, yeah. And it's like he's so close to being a world-class manager, but something just hasn't flicked yet.
Yeah, I think with Brendan, he's very frustrating. He talks a good game, but like you say, he don't always deliver. And I think that's what Leicester's issue is with Brendan. He talked about his big, massive rebuild, made fans believed it. We're going to get all these signings in for this season. That never happened. Obviously, when he was with you lot, he had like the Southampton players in, didn't he? The Ricky Lamberts, Adam Lallana and all that. The only team he'd go to was Southampton. Obviously, his time at Leicester, he's brought in Vestergaard, Bertrand, Southampton players, and you're thinking, we ain't Liverpool, mate. You know what I mean? You can't do something at one club and do it again at another because it don't work. But Brendan's he's a stubborn manager, and he seems to be one of them managers who hasn't got a plan B. I don't know if that's how you felt at Liverpool fans when you had him in charge.
Precisely, yeah. Literally, it was high-octane football, and it worked virtually every time when we had Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge fit. The moment they weren't fit or were no longer at the club, it fell apart. It just fell apart, and we couldn't maintain it. It really, towards the end of his tenure, it was really, really bad. Like his last full season and then his last half of the season was really bad.
Let's talk about team selection then. What's the 11 going to be, Callum?
Okay, so I actually think we'll go with the same 11 that started against Villa. So right back, Trent, Ali in goal, Matip and Virgil at the back, Robbo left back, centre midfield, Thiago, Henderson and Fabinho. Up top, Salah, Nunez and Ox.
He seems to have a goal against Leicester as well, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Last time we visited you lot with that bloody cup game when we ended up losing on penalties. We were 3-1 up. We brought Vestergaard and Bertrand on, then we fell apart. I think for Leicester we'll play with Danny Ward in goal. We'll go with Castagno, Wout Fast, Daniel Amati. Luke Thomas is going to play because we ain't got no other left back in the team who can start. I think Wilfred Ndidi will play. Dewsbury Hall, Tillemans, Perez, Barnes, and Vardy. But for me, I'd like to see Iheanacho and Vardy against Liverpool, or 2 up front. I think we can cause more havoc at Anfield having 2 up front. Because what's your thoughts on Patson Daka? Talk to me about Patson Daka. You was close to signing him. It never happened. He comes to Leicester. What's your thoughts on Patson Daka as a footballer, Callum?
I think he's very average. When we were linked with him, I actually got a lot of stick from our fan base because I kept on saying, with all due respect to Patson Daka, I really didn't want him at the club. I just did not want him. And everyone was like, oh, look at his goal scoring record and you're being spoiled. And
that's in a different league, isn't it?
And I was like, guys, when you actually watch him play, he's not the guy. He's just not that guy. And I think you guys will find that out the hard way, unfortunately. He just... Vardy and Iheanacho are just completely different league to him. Iheanacho, I think, has a potential to be a phenomenal player. Just, again, I don't know if it's injuries or... I know Brendan was kind of messing him about because he'd have a good game and then Brendan would drop him. Or so it's like, I agree with you. If, in my opinion, I'd probably try and go with like a 3-5-2 against Liverpool with you.
Yeah.
And then maybe Harvey Barnes in the 10 or even Iheanacho in the 10 and Harvey Barnes and Vardy to play up top to stretch our back line and almost try and break and beat the offside trap. But I don't see Brendan doing that.
No, Brendan's a bloke who likes to play the one up front, and if that don't work, he's one of them managers who does a like for like change when things are going wrong. I can't stand it. It's like then he confuses me, Brendan, and his press conferences don't help either with throwing teams players under the bus and all that. It's that sort of manager. But if you chat like something towards him, it's like you dropped. You ain't playing again. Like Sionchu, Pratt, and all them. We've had that issue. He's dropped them for no reason, and that's because if you fall out with Brendan, you ain't playing for that club again. So, talk to me about score prediction then, Callum. It's a big game for both clubs. Talk to me about the score then. Which way is this one going?
I think now that you've got no Maddison, I'm leaning towards 3-1 Liverpool.
Interesting. Any particular goal scorer?
Goal scorer. Vardy always gets a goal against Liverpool, so I'm just gonna go Vardy. For Liverpool, I'm gonna go Nunez 2 and Salah to get 1.
Salah always scores against Leicester.
So to be fair though, he scores against everyone. To be fair,
yeah, true. Kayson's gone 1-0. 3-0 Liverpool. That's coming from a Tottenham supporter, so I'm not surprised. Someone's gone 5-0 Liverpool.
I'd be very shocked.
I'd be shocked, but then it depends. If Leicester turn up like they did against Newcastle, they'll get flattened. They will get flattened by Liverpool, and I'm not even joking. We could concede 5 or 6 against Liverpool if we turned up the way we turned up against Newcastle. We can't do that. I just hope it's a blip. I just hope we're not in that force where we was in the first 6-7 games where we were getting battered against Tottenham, battered against Brighton. I just hope it's that sort of scenario. But I'm going to back my boys, Callum, man. I'm going to go 2-1. I am. That's my head. That's my heart, innit? Saying 2-1, but my head. If we turn up the way we came against Newcastle, we're going to get absolutely flattened. And you've got to be honest. The way we are at the minute, we're not European place this season as of yet. It depends how, because Leicester can turn it on when they want to, but we at the minute in time we're 13th and we're looking over our shoulder at the minute with this relegation battle and whatever not. But we're kind of away from that. But I think we'll be okay this season. I think we'll sign a few players in January, but we've got to strengthen in the right areas. We're lacking at left back, lacking at right wing, and missing Maddison. It's going to be crucial tomorrow night.
All right, so a couple questions for you, bro.
Go on.
I'm hearing this whole FFP stuff. You guys need to raise 60 mil between now and the end of the summer or June or whenever it is. Tielemans is off. Yeah. I think Maddison's going to go. Maybe Harvey Barnes. Do you think you're getting enough players to be able to replace those players? But also, do you think this is Brendan's last year? Or do you think he sees this the end of the season?
I think with Brendan, when we're on the bad run, losing all these games and that, he threw the club under the bus, the owners, all that. You know, he wanted out, but then Leicester couldn't pay him the money to pay him off. With Tielemans and Maddison, if we lose them players, say we lost them in January and Maddison went to Newcastle and Tielemans went to Arsenal, we ain't got no creativity in that team anymore. Yeah, we're just stuck in it. Like, you'd be stuck thinking, what do you do? Because Mendy ain't gonna do it, and Didi ain't gonna create. The only creator there is Barnes, and Barnes is probably the third player down the wing. But is it Brendan's last season? I think it'll all depend on where Leicester finish, Callum, because if we don't make European places this season and we don't bring in the right players and we don't invest in January and strengthen, and we are really struggling with this relegation thing and we are back in it again, then maybe the owners might make a decision. But until then, we've struggled due to COVID, innit? It's massively because we're sort of duty-free. Our owners get money from duty-free. If duty-free ain't getting the money, we're not getting money in it.
Yeah.
So we're stuck. But Callum, tell everyone where they can find you. People who've just joined.
Yeah, so you can find me at Callum Sanderson on social media, on Team Coppish on YouTube, where I'll be doing Liverpool content with Matt and Drifty. And also, if you're into MMA or different types of interviews as well, I also have another YouTube channel called The Sanderson Show as well.
Yep. Callum, you've been a great guest tonight.
No, thank you, man.
Before
I go, guys, please, you're almost on 1,000 now, right?
Yeah, just past 900.
Come on, guys, let's get Jack to 1,000, man. Like, let's
Appreciate
do it.
That.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. Again, I said it before, but thanks for reaching out. Thanks for being so courteous and giving me the time to rearrange stuff. Thank you so much for having me, man. Really appreciate it. Look, we'll do this again, man. You've got my details now. Don't hesitate to give me a shout, and we'll get you over on Coppish as well, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. And good luck for the rest of the season, Callum, after tomorrow's game, pal.
Yes,
until we meet again at the KP.
Yeah. No, thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, Callum. That was Callum Sanderson. Great guest tonight on the Final Whistle. Go check out Callum's YouTube channel on the Sanderson Show. Also, go and check out the Team Coppish. If you're a Liverpool fan watching and you want Liverpool news and all that, then Team Coppish is the channel for you. But if you're a neutral and you like football, also go and check it out. Great bunch of lads over there. But guys, if you've enjoyed the stream tonight on the match preview, please go and smash a like for me. It'd be really much appreciated. Also, hit that subscribe button. We've just reached over 900. So if you can, let's get to 1,000. It'd be appreciated. Big things to come on the Final Whistle in 2023. So, yeah, that is it from me. I really appreciate everyone watching tonight. Let's get the last comment. Great show, Kaysen. Appreciate that. And yeah, what's coming up on the Final Whistle then? So I've got the match day vlog. That'll be coming out from the Liverpool game. That'll be out Saturday morning, potentially. So that'll be out for that. We'll also have the Premier League predictions on Sunday. That'll be when we go into 2023, New Year's Day. And we've got Cottage Talk joining us on the Monday night as we preview another game as Leicester take on Fulham at the King Power Stadium. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the evening, whatever you're doing. And good night. Catch you later.